Hi students. We are here with Rebecca the Zookeeper and the Anteaters in the South American exhibit.
Hi everybody, I'm Rebecca, and like they said, I'm a zookeeper here at the Sedgwick County Zoo, and we are standing in the middle of our brand new South American mixed species exhibit. So this houses our anteater, and it houses our small little poodoo deer, which you may not be able to see over in the far corner. She hides really, really well. And then it also houses our Maine wolves. So I have a special guest for everybody today. We're going to talk about the anteater. He is one of my top 5 favorite animals on the planet. So he is actually awake. They're typically nocturnal, which means they sleep during the day, and then they get all excited and prowl and cause all kinds of mayhem at night. So he's over here in the corner pacing. We're going to go take a look at him. And you see as we walk upon him, you can see his coloration, which is very distinctive of the giant anteater. A giant anteater is actually the largest of the anteaters. There's 4 different species, and he's going to come say hello. His name is Matteo. He is 19 years old. Giant anteaters can live anywhere from 14 in the wild to in their 20s in captivity. So he's getting kind of up there in age. Now, because they're called anteaters, can any of you tell me what they like to eat? I bet everybody can tell me what they like to eat.
So while we wait for your answers, go ahead and put your answers in the chat. But while we wait for your answers, she's going to give us some other really cool facts about anteaters.
So Matteo here, his favorite food is actually an avocado. That's not usually a normal thing. So we are going to give him an avocado just so you can see some pretty cool features about it.
This is going to be awesome. So he likes avocados just like humans do. And I said, now how come they like avocados? How come you think they like it so much?
So because I've got him over here, you can see him lifting his foot a little bit. One good thing about anteaters is this claw. You see how big that is and how sharp that is? This is a big deal for anteaters. That's how they rip into those termite mounds and where they can find all the bugs in the world. Hey, you can put that down. I got it, buddy. Another cool thing is this tongue. Let's see if we can even stretch it out. You can see that tongue in there. It is 2 feet long. How crazy is that? Oh, I dropped your avocado. So an anteater tongue, it attaches at our sternum, which is the bone right here in the middle of your chest where our ribs attach right here. This is where it attaches, and it goes clear up and around. And it's covered in all sorts of sticky, gross stuff, which is all over my hands now. And that's so they can get it in there, and the ants and the termites will all attach to it, and then he can just slurp them up, just like you do any type of ice cream or a slushie, and it's pretty cool. So these guys, again, with those powerful claws that you saw over here. Hi, Matteos. How you doing, buddy? So they walk on their knuckles kind of like gorillas, if you guys have ever seen a gorilla walk, and that's so they can protect that claw. That claw is very special to them, and if anything happens to it, it gets broke or it's not as sharp, then they can't find food as easily. So as long as they keep it protected, it stays sharp. They have a really cool adaptation, which is something different that they have in here that protects it when they walk, so it's not poking them too. I'm probably not going to be able to show you that. Okay.
And say, I think he's looking for more
avocados. That's like that. Hey, no, put that down. Put that down. See, it's all in there, buddy. So anteaters are really good swimmers. They do love to swim a lot. They don't have very good eyesight. As you can see, he's kind of looking around a little nervous around the kid. I know, buddy. But they have amazing sense of smell. So a cool thing about them, too, is when they come upon any type of termite mound, they can smell. I don't have any more. They can smell and they can sense what kind of bugs might be in that mound, and they know if they want them or not.
Wow.
Like you and I, if I don't want my broccoli, I skip it.
So that sense of smell is it's very strong.
Very strong.
Oh,
so they can probably smell like my dog and everything. Obviously, he doesn't know what it is. But
hi there, buddy.
Hi, honey. Come on. Yeah, I know. I got some on for you too.
So they're a lot bigger than what I thought they were.
So these guys can stretch from the tip of his nose to the tip of his tail, 6 to 8 feet long.
Wow.
And that's
8
actually,
feet.
that is, so both boys and girls, same size. Sometimes the females are a lot smaller, but it kind of depends. But most of the time they're the same size, same color, everything like that.
And about like, oh, what was I gonna say? Oh my goodness. About how much do they weigh?
So these guys typically range from 55 to 100 pounds.
Okay. So like a dog. I mean, that's about this besides the 6 to 8 feet.
And they stand up. So about a German Shepherd is probably around that area. Yeah. Matteo runs around our 90-poundish. So he's a fairly large male. We have had a female before in the past who was much smaller, and we were looking at her. She was actually like 40 pounds, so even smaller than typical.
Man,
She was also
where's
very
he off to?
He's going to explore everything.
Oh,
So anteaters in the wild too, they're called wanderers. So they set up some sort of a territory, but they actually travel constantly. They're always in motion. They're always moving around. They're always trying to find the next big termite that they can eat.
oh wow. So about how much, like, do we know about how much poundage of like termites, ants that they eat like a
Not
day?
Poundage, but so it's known that so they're very smart.
And what's this little guy?
This is our poodoo. This is Hammy.
Poodoo, Hammy. Oh, how cute.
She recently joined Matteo out here in our mixed species exhibit.
And they get along great.
They're doing very well.
Awesome.
There's a little some exploratory where they're sniffing each other and kind of
Mhm.
hanging out, but they do very, very well together. He kind of does his own little thing and she does her own thing. And they just walk around, share their space.
Yeah.
Kind of like brother and sister. You go to your room, I'll go to mine.
Yeah. You go to your space, I'll go to mine. So about how much do they eat per day?
So they actually will eat up to 140 individual insects at each sitting. There's not an actual group of how much in each
Okay.
a day, but they'll go to a termite mound. That's what they'll consume at each one, and then they move on. It's like they understand what they're like doing. So if they overeat at that termite mound, it may not be available again to them.
Oh, I see.
So it's like deep down, they kind of understand that.
Yeah.
And so they'll kind of travel around, they'll find other spots to eat, and then they'll just move on.
So Matteo is pacing right now back and forth, and I'm hoping our visitors that are on with us can see this. What's the purpose of them kind of doing this pacing?
So Matteo, unfortunately, because he's in such a small space, it kind of stays in the same area. But when they're out in the wild, this is a part of that wandering behavior. So they're constantly patrolling their territory, the area that they're staying, looking for predators, searching for food, searching for a new place to take a nap. That's what he's in a sense doing here, is he's doing that same thing. It's just such a smaller space, a smaller pace range.
I see. And what country can we find these animals in?
These guys are in South and Central America.
South
They
and
do like that warmer climate, some humidity involved. And that's where that big bushy tail you can see. So they actually use that as cover, kind of like an umbrella. They'll climb in a hole during the day. They'll take a nap and they'll cover themselves up. They do have very bristly hair. It's not very soft or anything. And so they don't actually use it for warmth like most other mammals do.
Mhm.
And so they use that tail to kind of help them keep warm during the day and keep the shade away too.
So would you
For the
say,
sun, I'm sorry.
are they kind of, is he kind of in this space most of the day?
Yep, this is pretty much where he chooses
So
to
this
be.
is like his bedroom.
Yep.
Yeah.
We put up that sunshade structure, so we didn't have it originally, and the sun just beat down on him. So we included that to give him a little bit of a shaded area. And so that's where he has picked. That's his spot. And now that we've added Hammy, our poodoo, she kind of sticks to this side of it.
Yeah.
If you need maintenance on the claws.
Yeah.
We
What,
don't.
what kind of
so-
maintenance on the claws? Sorry.
No, you're good. Anteaters do an amazing job at keeping their claws the way they need them. So every time we have all of these logs that you can see in here, these are all for him. If he wants to destroy them, if he just wants to sniff them, they are whatever he would like to do. And he's
I would-
using them.
I was actually about to ask that because it reminds me kind of like of a cat, you know, how they have the
Yep.
scratch post. So we've got these logs in here for that very reason, for Matteo to, you know, maintain his own.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. It's like I was saying earlier, that is such an important feature on them that if he didn't have it, he probably couldn't survive nearly as well. And so as long as he's scratching and digging, and so termites can build mounds that are concrete. That's how solid they are.
Oh,
He
wow.
can just rip through them and destroy them like they're nothing. And so they keep them nice and sharp. They keep them the way they need them. And he does it here too. We just obviously don't have concrete termite mounds for him to destroy, but we give him everything else we can.
What about their in the nature, their predators? Who would their predator be?
You're looking at jaguars,
Okay.
a lot of larger ones, but unfortunately it's humans. So in their area, humans have moved in and they've built streets and roads, and they are coming up on roads and having some roadkill issues.
Oh,
And then obviously habitat destruction, and that, but for the most part, it's jaguars. And they come up from the top of them otherwise. So anteaters will actually stand up. They'll use their tail as a balancing, like kind of like a fifth leg.
raccoon kind
Yeah.
of, or not raccoon, I'm so sorry, a kangaroo.
A kangaroo, yeah.
Yeah, uses its tail to kind of balance.
And they'll come up, and that's where that claw comes into, is they'll come up behind something and they'll bear hug it, and they can actually rip it open. And I think jaguars have learned,
Oh,
don't
wow.
mess with those guys.
These animals are smart.
Very,
Very smart.
And they can run up to 30 miles per hour, or it's
Wow.
more of a gallop than a run.
Okay, so it looks like we've just got a couple more minutes left. Let me see. Are there any questions kind of in our chat over here? Yeah.
So
How
they had
old
a
can
question
they get?
around what other yummies do the anteaters like to find to eat?
So in the wild, they stick to the bugs, the termites, the grubs, the ants. Our anteaters in captivity is avocado. He does get offered some orange also. He's kind of hit or miss on whether he likes the orange or not. But they can get offered all kinds of others. We've tried honey. We've tried jelly. He particular as an individual doesn't prefer those things. But I have worked with anteaters in the past that can't get enough of honey.
About how old do anteaters get?
So in captivity, they can get anywhere in their 20s. So like I said, he's 19, so he's up there. In the wild, we're looking about 15.
Oh, wow. Okay. So he's an old
And-
man.
He is getting up there, and you
And-
wouldn't know at all.
When they have babies, what are they called? Do you have a litter? Do you have pups? Tell us a little bit about the babies.
So the babies, they usually just have one at a time. That's it. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure if they have a particular name except for offspring. I'm not sure when it comes to anteaters.
Oh, that would be something good to kind of like look up,
Yeah.
like just to find out. And especially like if we've got a group of them.
Yep.
Is there a group? What's a group of anteaters
So
called?
they're usually not going to be a group. So they are
Oh,
solitary
they're
litters.
loners.
They
Okay.
will come together for that breeding season so they can have offspring. And then usually dads leave, they're done. I'm out of here. And then mom, so the babies will lay on their backs, and that's where they stay. And they come out looking just like a mini mom. They'll look just like that when they come out. They
Oh,
hold on and they blend, and that's where they stay. And then once they get to be roughly 6 months-ish, then you'll kind of start to see them wandering just a little bit. But it's usually one at a time, and that's where they stay.
okay. Miss Smoke, do we have any other questions in the chat or anything else that you can think of that we would like to ask?
I think that covers it all today. We are really excited to learn all about the anteater. He's not a friend that we get to study very often, so thank you for your time.
Thank you guys.
Thank
I'm
you.
very glad.
Thanks so much.